What if I told you that most people's financial futures aren't ruined in their 20s? They quietly fall apart in their 30s. That's right. The decade everyone calls your prime is actually where most Americans lose their shot at real freedom. Not because they're lazy, but because life gets loud. You start earning more, but somehow it never feels like enough. Your paycheck disappears faster than it hits your account. There's rent or a mortgage, student loans that still haunt you, maybe kids on the way, and every responsible decision seems to come with a new bill attached. I remember staring at my bank balance one night after a 60-hour work week thinking, how am I working this hard and still feel broke? That was the moment it hit me. Income doesn't create freedom, intentional milestones do. Here's the reality. Your 30s will either be the decade you build wealth on purpose, or the one where you get trapped in an expensive lifestyle that keeps you busy, tired, and broke forever. But here's the good news. You can change the trajectory, starting today. Because in this video, I'm breaking down the 10 major money milestones that every 30-something in America must hit before 40. These are not vague save more, spend less tips. These are the exact turning points that separate people who coast toward early financial independence from those still stressing at 50. So if you've ever wondered why your hard work hasn't translated into peace of mind, stay with me till the end. Because by the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to do, in what order, and how to finally make your 30s count. Let's talk about the trap that silently drains your future. Let's start with something nobody says out loud enough. Consumer debt isn't just a bad habit. It's a wealth killer. We've normalized credit card balances and car loans like they're just part of adulting. Everyone has them, right? But let me be brutally honest. Debt is financial quicksand. The longer you let it sit, the harder it is to escape, and the more of your future it quietly swallows. I used to think debt was manageable. A couple credit cards, a car payment, a leftover student loan, nothing major. But every month I'd watch hundreds of dollars vanish before I even had a chance to think about saving or investing. It was like trying to run a race while dragging a weighted sled behind me. Here's a framework that changed everything for me. The zero consumer debt rule. And yes, that means zero. No credit card balances. No car loans. No buy now, pay later furniture bills. The only debt that gets a pass here is a mortgage. And even that should be approached strategically, not emotionally. Let's break down the opportunity cost. If you're paying $400 a month toward your credit cards and another $600 on your car loan, that's $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year. And over the next decade, that's $120,000 not going toward building wealth, not compounding in investments, not buying you freedom. Imagine what that money could have grown into. And more importantly, imagine how much less stress you'd be under if you weren't losing sleep over minimum payments and interest rates. Freedom isn't just about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep. And in your 30s, if you don't kill your consumer debt now, it will steal the best compounding years of your financial life. Here's a number no one talks about, but it changes everything. Now let's talk about something that gets shrugged off way too often, your credit score. You've probably heard someone proudly say, I don't care about my credit score, I pay cash. Sounds noble, right? But here's the truth. That mindset could be silently costing them tens of thousands of dollars. Your credit score isn't just a number, it's leverage. Let's say you're buying a $400,000 house. If you've got excellent credit, let's say an 800 plus score, you might get an interest rate of 6.5%. Over 30 years, you'll pay about $511,000 in interest. But if your score drops just a bit, say into the high 600s, and your rate ticks up to 7%, your interest shoots up to $558,000. That's $47,000 more for the exact same house. That's not a rounding error. That's the cost of a missed vacation every year for the next 20 years, or the startup capital for a business, or college tuition, or a down payment on a second home. And here's the kicker. Your score can tank by 180 points from just one 30-day late payment. And that mark sticks around for 7 years. One forgotten bill. One moment of disorganization. That's all it takes. But the flip side? Building an excellent credit score isn't rocket science. Pay your bills on time. Every time. Keep your credit usage below 30%, ideally under 10%. Don't close old accounts unless they're draining you with fees. And only open new credit when you actually need it. These tiny, almost invisible habits can quietly boost your credit score. and save you tens of thousands over your lifetime. Treat your credit score like a financial tool, because in the real world it is. And using it wisely is how you unlock the best terms, the lowest rates, and the greatest flexibility when life throws something unexpected your way. Okay, here's the system that keeps my entire financial life on track. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever felt like you're working harder than ever, but you're still just reacting to money instead of directing it? That's how most people live. They're earning, spending, saving sometimes, but there's no clear strategy. It's like driving through a storm with no GPS, hoping you'll figure it out before retirement hits. That's where the BRETT plan comes in. A simple system to turn chaos into control. B is for budgeting, not the restrictive kind that feels like punishment, but a purposeful spending plan that tells your dollars where to go so you don't wonder where they went. R is for retirement planning. Most people think throwing money into a 401k is enough. It's not. You need to know how much you'll need when you want to retire, and whether you're on track. E is for estate planning. It's not just for the wealthy or elderly. If you have kids, assets, or responsibilities, you need a plan, because without it, courts will make decisions for you. T is for tax strategy. The wealthy don't just earn more, they keep more. Legal tax strategies can save you thousands a year, but most people never use them because they don't know they exist. And the final T? Tracking progress. What gets measured gets improved. Monthly check-ins, automated dashboards, or even a simple spreadsheet. The point is clarity. You should always know where you stand. With that kind of framework, you're playing financial whack-a-mole. With it, you've got a blueprint that can adapt to life's curveballs and still lead you to long-term wealth. This next one's not just about money, it's about peace of mind. Most people treat emergency savings like a boring side note. But let me reframe it. Your emergency fund isn't savings, it's your options fund. It's the difference between reacting in panic and responding with power. Think about it. A water heater explodes. Your car breaks down. A job gets cut. Without savings, you're stressed, scrambling, maybe swiping a credit card you'll be stuck paying off for years. With savings, you breathe, you fix it, you move on. In your 30s, the game changes. You've got a family, a home, aging parents. Life's surprises get bigger, more expensive, and more urgent. That's why the old advice of 3 to 6 months of expenses doesn't cut it anymore. You want 6 to 12 months of essential living costs, especially if your income is variable or you're self-employed. And where do you keep it? Not in stocks, not under your mattress. High-yield savings accounts are perfect. They give you a bit of interest, zero risk, and instant access. This fund isn't about ROI, it's about ROI's cousin, resilience on impact. Having it means you sleep better. You make clearer decisions, you take smarter risks, and you stop living one emergency away from disaster. Let me show you how to buy back decades of freedom. Let's talk about a number that could change your entire future. 3x. By the time you hit 40, you should have at least 3 times your annual income saved for retirement. So if you're making $70,000 a year, the target is $210,000 saved. And I get it, that might sound huge, maybe even out of reach, but here's why this number matters so much. Because when you hit 3x by 40, compound interest does the heavy lifting from there. Invested well, that $210,000 could grow into over $2 million by the time you're 67, even if you never contribute another dime. That's the power of time and consistent action. Every dollar you invest now isn't just money saved, it's freedom purchased for your future self. Freedom to say no to jobs that burn you out. Freedom to retire early or switch careers later. Freedom to live life on your terms. You're not just saving, you're buying back your time. One deposit at a time. That's not optional. That's your exit strategy from the grind. This one separates real wealth builders from paycheck drifters. Here's a silent killer of wealth that almost nobody talks about. Lifestyle creep. You get a raise and suddenly your car's newer. Your rent is higher. Your dinners out multiply. And before you know it, you're earning more back, but feeling just as broke. Now picture this. 2 people earn the same income. One upgrades everything with every raise. The other automates half of every raise into investments before they even see it. Fast forward 10 years, one's still paycheck to paycheck in a nicer car. The other's halfway to financial independence. The trick is what I call automate the gap. Whenever your income increases, bonus, raise, side hustle cash, don't think about what to do with it. Set it up so part of it immediately goes into retirement, savings, or investments. If you don't see it, you won't miss it. And while others inflate their lifestyle, you quietly inflate your net worth. This is how you win long term. Not by grinding harder, but by letting systems grow your wealth in the background. It's not about legal documents. It's about protecting the people you love. Let's talk about something uncomfortable but vital. Estate planning. Now, before you scroll past thinking, I'm too young for that, let me reframe it. This isn't about death, it's about love. A will, a power of attorney, a guardianship plan. These aren't just legal tools. They're love letters to your family, written in advance, for when you can't speak for yourself. Who takes care of your kids if something happens to you and your spouse? Who makes medical decisions if you're unconscious? What happens to your home, your retirement, your insurance? If you don't make these choices, the courts will. And trust me, no judge will care as much as you do. Getting basic estate documents in place is one of the most responsible, loving acts you can do for the people who matter most. Quick reality check. Your body is your most expensive investment. We usually talk about money as your most important asset. But here's the truth. Your health is the engine that powers it all. The average American spends over $300,000 on healthcare in their lifetime, and much of that is avoidable. Want a clearer picture? That $4 donut today could be $40,000 in medical bills later if it becomes a habit instead of a treat. I'm not saying you need to become a gym rat or eat kale with every meal, but your 30s are the last call to build health habits before damage sets in. Follow the simple formula. Move daily, eat real, sleep deep. Take care of your body like it's your most valuable investment, because without it, every other financial plan falls apart. If you've got kids, or plan to, this is a powerful head start. Let's be real, college is expensive, and thinking about fully funding a $200,000 education, it's overwhelming. But here's a better way to think about it. You're not trying to cover everything, you're giving them options. Even small amounts that started early can grow big with time. That's where 529 plans come in. They're like a Roth IRA, but for education. Tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals, and even potential state tax deductions. And if your kid doesn't need all of it, you can transfer it, use it for grad school, or even roll some into a Roth IRA. Start with $50 a month. That's not a burden. That's planting seeds. This last one is everything. It's what makes you feel in control. What's the real flex in your 30s? Waking up calm, not checking your bank account first thing out of fear, not lying awake at 3 a.m. wondering, am I doing this money thing right? Financial confidence isn't about hitting a magic number in your net worth. It comes from having clarity and control, from knowing where your money's going, why it's going there, and what your long-term plan is. And you don't need to do this alone. Whether you use a spreadsheet, an app, or a financial advisor, pick a system that works for you and actually use it. Because financial peace isn't built on luck, it's built on intention. Here's the one thing I want you to do next. Don't skip this. Your 30s don't need to be a financial mess. They can be your power decade. I'm not some financial genius, I'm Mike. And I started exactly where you are. Confused, overwhelmed, a little behind. But I picked one milestone. Just one. And I went after it. For me, it was crushing credit card debt. That one move created momentum. And momentum is everything. So here's your move. Pick one milestone from this video, just one, and drop it in the comments. Let's see it. Call your shot. Then go make it happen. And hey, if this video gave you clarity, drop a like. Remember, you're not behind. You're just getting started. Let's make your 30s count.